When I was a child, I was told that there was something called the American Dream. I was led to believe that if I invested my sweat and tears, good things would happen. It was an absolute formula that any American could follow. This would allow me to move to that deluxe apartment in the sky. What I did not realize is that it was conditioning. The pitch was to sell me on the pursuit of materialism. America did not give a damn about me. The only thing that was required from me was to keep silent, produce, consume, and fight the negative images that chased my black skin. While being a good citizen, I was to advertise for the man, believe in the game, consume to avoid pain, pattern my personality after the mold. You know, the one taken from the factory of what's popular today, and die with enough money to pay my bills and to dispose of my remains. I learned early that something wasn't right. I did not have the vocabulary to express the social ills witnessed everywhere I traveled. Constantly, I was told of and I read about the failure of our systems and institutions. My TV painted a fantasy that never matched up with my day. I understood first, second, and third hand about the realities of domestic conflicts. As I aged, I saw it was international. I could visit one household and be taught about lack of resources. Before nighttime arrived, I could see people who made all of the right choices, or at least it appeared so to my youthful eyes, and yet they had no control over their circumstances. Nighttime would come, I would surrender my bones to a cement stare, and then it came to me. The stumper that would unravel the events of the day and make things plain. Most suffered from a lack of awareness. This kept the confidence game of the American dream going strong. When I advanced into my teens, I had one of my biggest eye-openers. Most people were not concerned about celebrating excellence and self-improvement. They were either too tired from the day's work or numb to anything that did not put a dollar in their pocket. I never found the American institutions addressing this, with the main one being my public school. While I would hear public service announcements, view films from the 60s and the 70s, and listen to my mother promote the concepts of making a difference, personal responsibility, kindness, and sensitivity to the human condition, it was not consistent with what I viewed others doing. They appeared stuck celebrating weaknesses, perversion, and vanity. Most of my classmates, no matter the color of their skin, were invested in antisocial behavior, entitlement, instant gratification, and excessive self-indulgence. Confused about the inconsistencies, I turned to those I was sure achieved this American dream. What I learned was of their investment in corruption, compromised integrity, greed, and shallow values. The children and the adults were preoccupied with obsession with fame, maintaining of youth, and acquiring a fortune. Years passed. I learned about Black history, and I realized the dream depended on what your sense of reality is. A quote a family friend recited to me comes back. But what happens to the poor white man's, the poor white woman's mind? It is this. They have been raised to believe, and by now they helplessly believe, that no matter how terrible some of their lives may be, and no matter what disaster overtakes them, there is one consolation, like a heavenly revelation, At least they are not black. I suggest that of all the terrible things that could happen to a human being, that is one of the worst. I suggest that what has happened to the white Southerner is in some ways much worse than what has happened to the Negroes there. That was by James Baldwin. This would linger like a song you would like to forget as I saw the ever-widening gap between the rich and the poor. I knew this happy ever after facade had to be refuted, had to be crushed. Life is not a formula that yields the same results for everyone. I would flinch from mental pain when hearing this fairy tale promoted. It was tragic how some who attended the American Temple, sure of these imaginative thoughts they frequently indulged in, failed to produce the reported results. So, conditioned and distracted by their own dedication, they could not see their oppression and the lies. They did not even stop to question their reality. Attend middle school, all for the sake of preparing for junior high, that feeds into high school, that feeds into trade school or college, that feeds into an advanced degree, which will provide a better life than your parents and a healthy slice of apple pie. The dream keeps the consumer, the producer, and the believer calm as the hymn of someday is sung. Fuck the American hoax. I replaced it with my dream.